So today we are going to be using our monochromatic color scheme to create unity in our artwork. And we are going to be doing a landscape painting today with the mountains. So what I am going to do is I have my plate here. I have my white, my black, and then the blue color. So I have one color and then my white and black. And I am going to mix different tints and shades over here on this side of my plate. So I am going to start with a lot of white and a little bit of blue to make a light blue color first. And you can see that I'm mixing up here in this part to save some room. And then with this light color, I'm going to start with the first part of my sky, because things are lighter as they go back, and then they get darker or they start to show more detail as they come forward. So things are lighter and hazier towards the back, and then as you come forward, they tend to get darker. So I'm going to start with my light blue color for my sky. And my sky doesn't necessarily have a shape right now. It's kind of flat. We're filling in the background part, and then we'll be putting our mountains over the top of it. And I'm using my big paintbrush to fill this in. I'm filling in about 1 finger's length, your pointer finger here, of sky. Actually, I might go down a little bit more with that, just to be safe. Just kidding, friends. Go a little longer than that, because you want to make sure that your mountains come over your sky and there's not a bunch of space left over. You don't want the paper to be showing when you're trying to fill in for the sky. So here's my light color. Here is my sky. Now, I want the color to get slightly darker as I come forward. So with the white, with this tint, I am going to go ahead and get some more white over here and a little bit more blue this time. I want it to be a little bit darker, but I don't want it so dark that I'm using the black yet. Not quite there yet. And you can see that I am adding a little bit more blue. Maybe I think that's a little dark now. I'll get a little bit of white and mix some of that white in there, because I want it to be a little darker than the first color that I used, but not so much so. And now with this, I am going to come in and I am going to make a mountain shape. And I am going to do some squiggles, maybe go up a little taller. And I'm coming over this color. I am coming over this lighter color to start with, so that we are layering it up. And I'm wiggling my brush, and I'm creating a hazy mountain look with some wiggles in my brush. This is for the tops of the mountains, and since they're towards the back, again, we can't really see them as well. So they're kind of hazy looking. And then I'm going to come in and fill in this space a little bit and go flat or go right across. Not so much shape here. And we're going to get ready for the next row of mountains. So again, I'm just gently wiggling my brush, coming up to a point, coming down. I'm creating some variety with my mountain range here. And now I am going to get some more blue and mix a little bit of a darker color. You can see that, you can see my light blue, you can see the slightly darker blue, and you can see that I am coming in and making this a little bit darker than this one too now. So we're doing 1, 2, 3 with the white, and we're making them slightly darker each time with a little more blue as we go. You know, if you make a mistake and, like, let's say that this is a little more blue than you want, yikes, oh no, then I'll go ahead and get a little bit of white on my brush and I'll just brush it through and blend it back together to create that light. And I'm not pushing down with my paintbrush like this. No, no, no. Very gentle, very gentle. A little bit of that dark blue again, and now I'm going to do another one. Maybe this time, oops, don't want that white there. Maybe this time I come up with a very dramatic mountain range. And I got all these dramatic mountains, drama queens. Maybe we need a little bit more blue in that color. It looks like it's blending in with my background a little bit more than I want to. And that's another thing, friends, that as you fill in your color, this paint is going to mix with this paint a little, and it will cause it to change colors. So you might have to come in and add a little bit more blue. You know, I kind of want that to be a little more dramatic than that. So I'm bringing it up to a point like a mountain, and I'm bringing it out. Fill in, wiggle, fill in, go ahead and fill in that bottom again. If you notice, you'll see that I'm moving my paintbrush in the shape of the mountains to fill it in. That helps create more shape and dimension in our mountains, makes it look more natural. Ta-da! Now, the funny part about this next step is that we're going to start adding black. So we came down halfway now with our light colors, and we have 3 rows of our slightly lighter blues each time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding a little bit of black. Black is a very powerful color, so we only want to use a little bit at a time. You can always add more black if you need it. You cannot take it away once it's in there. So a little bit of black, a little bit of black. And then I'm going to mix it in with that blue color, and you can see that it is slightly darker than the color that we had before. And now I'm going to come in and I am going to do another mountain range, only this time maybe it comes up this way, maybe it's very dramatic. You can see again, look at my colors are starting to blend together, and I'm starting to have this nice value of color. Get some more of that blue. Come in for my mountain range. Maybe it plateaus a little bit more, meaning it goes a little bit more flat. And then maybe it comes up over this mountain range into this next one. That's okay. That's okay, I'll cover that up. Sometimes we make a mistake, whatever, that's fine. So I think that my brush is getting a little tired from all the colors, so I may need to be careful about all that water everywhere, friends. You're going to want to rinse your brush off in your water by pushing down, and then go ahead and give it a good wipe here on the side. Whoops. That's all right. Let's just smooth that in there. Sometimes we make mistakes, right? No big deal. No big deal. If it's a little too much, though, you can always get your sponge and you can go ahead and sponge it up. This is another reason why we keep the sponge here. And you can come in and smooth all that out. No big deal. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit more black to this. Make it a darker color. And now I think that things are getting closer, they're getting darker, and I am still playing around with how tall I should keep my mountains or how not tall. Maybe this one has more wiggles than mountains. And now I am going to use a bunch of black in the blue to the point where it is almost all black, but you can still see a little bit of that color. And then I'm going to come in and add another mountain range here towards the bottom. And maybe these ones come up more. You can do whatever you would like for your mountains, friends. It does not have to look like mine. We are just doing our best to get some kind of design in here. Ta-da! And if you feel like that's not dark enough, you can always rinse your brush off and get some black on your brush and come in over your mountain range with the black and touch it up a little bit if you want to. And I'm fixing up my mountains now too. I didn't really like how they looked before. That's better. Ta-da! And then this is our background. And then for the next class, friends, we will talk about adding other decorations and designs and putting trees and stuff in there. Yay! So once you're done with this, you're going to go ahead and set this off to the side. And then the next class, we will talk about adding other details into our monochromatic artwork.